New info has come out about Hasbro's upcoming G.I. Joe game. This is Levisto, the Dragon of Cyberspace, coming to you with all news, tips, and tricks within the gaming spectrum. If you like my work and wish to support, please hit the subscribe, like, and notification bell. And with that, let's get on with the news. That Park Place reports that new Hasbro Job Listing reveals new details on its upcoming G.I. Joe game starring Snake Eyes. A job listing on Hasbro's website provides new details on the upcoming G.I. Joe game starring Snake Eyes being developed by North Carolina-based studio Atomic Arcade. Batman Arkham producer Ames Kirshen leads the studio, and he revealed back in March 2022 that he has joined Hasbro to develop a game focused on G.I. Joe. He informed Game Industry, "I always had this great desire to tackle G.I. Joe and take a crack at making an amazing game with the IP because I think there's a lot of potential there. So long story short, we decided to build a studio to support that franchise, to support that game." He also informed the outlet that the game would be focused on Snake Eyes and described it as a much more edgy, contemporary, mature take on G.I. Joe to really suit what we felt needed to have this IP and game resonate with a modern consumer. That doesn't sound good right now. While Kirshen's comments about proving a contemporary cape might give some readers pause, and it gives me pause, Kirshen elaborated while discussing how he had to convince Hasbro executives to greenlight the game. He shared it was a process of getting them comfortable with the direction we wanted to go, with that this is the type of content the market is looking for. That people grew up with this IP, and those who grew up with this IP back in the days of the real American hero at its peak in the 80s and 90s are now fathers and uncles, and these are the mass consumers of these AAA consoles and PC platforms, and they want content that grows with them, he explained. Kirshen also seems to imply he will be telling an original Snake Eyes story with the game. If you look at the evolution that has been in the late PS3 era, moving to PS4, it's been to take these ideas and craft unique experiences, taking some of the best elements of the underlying IP from source material, but creating a version specifically for the video game market and video games consumer, as opposed to taking someone else's version of the character and trying to adapt that to the medium when that wasn't organically created for that medium for the get-go. To make his point, he compared his work on the Arkham series to Christopher Nolan's Batman films. At the height of Christopher Nolan's trilogy, rather than doing a game based on Batman working with Rocksteady, we crafted our own version of Batman that was specifically built from the ground up to be an amazing, cutting-edge, high-quality Batman game that was very much inspired by other media and the core canon of Batman, but was its own unique, fresh take made for gamers from the ground up. Based on the huge success of that became the model for us across all our portfolio at DC, he added. Furthermore, Kirshen made it a point that while he seemingly be crafting an original story, he wants to respect G.I. Joe. That sounds good. He explains, "There are some things every creator needs to do for the medium they're creating that sometimes will need to push the boundaries of some of the rules and guidelines of the IP, as long as you're still being very respectful to the underlying IP and respecting the essence of it on a micro character level, as well as a macro world building level." Now, a new job listing for a senior world/level designer shares some new details about the game. It notes the game will be a multi-platform AAA game, a bold contemporary new take on G.I. Joe universe, starring the legendary character Snake Eyes. Specifically, the job listing implies that the game will have a mix of open world as well as closed level mechanics similar to Batman Arkham City. It states that the candidate will bring a passion for both open world and linear level design. It also wants the candidate to bring a minimum of 4 to 6 game development experience and significant contribution to multiple shipped AAA titles as a level designer world builder. In a section labeled extra credit, it also notes that the ideal candidate will have experience working on open world and or sandbox projects. Well, this seems like he's saying all the right things. My main concern is, will they be race swapping Snake Eyes? For those who don't know, Snake Eyes originally was a white man with blonde hair, blue eyes, and was a army veteran who was disfigured from a helicopter accident. Thus, the reason why he cannot speak. Despite all this, he received training in ninjutsu and thus had a bitter feud with Storm Shadow, Cobra's own ninja. But what are your thoughts, viewer? Are you a G.I. Joe fan? Are you looking forward to the upcoming G.I. Joe game? Put your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, happy gaming.